To go fishing. We know what the realtor told us.
We get loud and proud. Like in Bills from Notre Dame.
They're concerned about what's happening. So,
Thinking about having a host club.
whoa, I'm like. Whoa.
If you like, we have, like, your one is just, yeah. But we have, okay. Welcome, everybody.
Use the mic. Use the mic, please.
Here's time. It's still working, very good. The Cereal City Lions Club is a Battle Creek community service organization that supports and promotes community involvement and provides assistance to persons with sight, hearing, diabetes, and other impairments, as well as supporting zone, district, state, and international projects. Do we have an attendance?
We do. We have 23 members and 2 guests.
Wonderful. On the table, you'll find your minutes for May 14th. And although we have no dance for this day. Oh, and I am to tell you that the soldiers at Fort Richardson did stand and dance with us. So we were all set.
Yeah.
But today is Otter Day. So if you have an otter, take special care of them. And if you don't have an otter,
You're welcome.
it's Hamburger Day.
Hamburger. I want to change the word.
For those of you who've been around for a while, it's John Fogerty's 80th birthday.
Oh.
Wow. So with that, Maestro, would you like to lead us in songs and so forth?
So forth. Okay. Thanks, Madam President. So, alright. Let's go, on the tail end of Memorial Weekend, to remember all our fallen heroes that are out there and everybody that's done a good job so we can enjoy the freedoms that we have tonight. You might heard my patriotic selections, or anything like that. So, right. But there was this little boy and he was in church. And he was in church and he goes up there and on the wall and there's a whole bunch of plaques that all have names on them, and right below all the military flags, with all the plaques on the wall. And he asked the pastor, he says, Pastor, what are all those names up on the wall? And he said, well, those are all our members that have died in the service. And the boy says, was that the 9 o'clock or 11? Okay, we don't have any birthdays. Everybody have a strong book. We're doing number 4 as the Lions go roaring along. Everybody stand on up and I'll give you a little accompaniment. We'll see if we can make this work, okay? Okay, number 4, we've done it before. Now give me a little bit. Forward. Here we go.
Again, once again, we all gather around and then we will pack up our troubles and roar. King of peace and his feast, it's not trouble in the least. All our cares we have left them adore. Horse roar, lions roar, and the elders some more. Step up to the is strong. But all that will make the other step, for the lions go roaring along. There's no such word as fail, we are on against the scale, while the lions go roaring along. But in out, we will not stop about, and the lions go roaring along. Horse you are high, with the lion's favorite ride. We will walk our heads down and fly strong. Here to put it through, as the lions go roaring along.
Good job, everybody. His sister plays it.
There we go. Yeah, you learn. Oh.
And. Now down. There we go. Okay, flags up front. God bless America. Okay, a little for you and for you. Three, 4.
Some may be found that I love, stand beside her and guide. Through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. Some every God, my home, sweet home. Some every God, my home, sweet
I think I have the pledge tonight, so I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will pray the Lion's Prayer at the end of my prayer. Let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for the rain. It was well needed. Thank you for our wonderful volunteers who put the American flags by the graves of our servicemen at Fort Custer National Cemetery. Thank you, Lord, for our many members who have volunteered in service this month, and for our Lions Club leadership. We also thank you for our members who attended the Michigan Lions Convention in Bay City. It was a super event. We pray for our absent members. May they know they are never forgotten. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for bringing our speaker this evening. We are honored to have with us Brent Beracy. He is from the global membership team. I'm sure we will learn some useful information. Also, we have Leader Brian Williams with us. Thank you for this venue, our great server, and the delicious meals. We pray we will always remember our service pillars and our Lions motto, we serve. Lord, take us home safely and keep us safe in service. Now, let us pray the Lions prayer. Where lions meet,
Precious Lord,
to
dwell in our hearts of one accord. To do thy will, Lord, make us strong, to aid the weak and right the wrong.
Amen.
Please remain standing and welcome our special guest, past district governor and member now of the global membership team, Brent Beracy. Be seated, everyone. Introduction of attendees, and we'll start back here with Muriel, who has the microphone. Thank you. Muriel Walters, a Serial City Lion, and also associate member of Bedford area Lions Club.
Serial City Lions. Dorothy Bossie, Serial City Lion.
I'll explain Serial City Lion and our guest tonight, Brian Williams.
Serial City Lion. Brent Beracy, Ashley Lions Club.
Harriet Sprague, Serial City Lion.
What the big Serial City Lions?
Ryan Cook, Serial City Alliance, and I'd like to introduce one of our new members, Elizabeth Riley, who will also be our guest keyboardist at the meeting.
Connie Global, Serial City Lions.
In book, Serial City Lions.
Diane Elliott, Serial City Lions.
Pam Streeter, Serial City Lions. Kay Smith, Serial City Lions.
Brian Trainer, Serial City Lions.
Well, I'm Marlette, Lion.
D. Davis, Serial City Lion.
Bob Harvey, Serial City Lions.
Jerry Mackey, Serial City Lions.
Roger Rossi, Serial City Lion.
Serial City Lion, Teresa Beck. Serial City Lion, Kevin Murphy.
Eric Dean, Serial City Lion.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I would also like to copy what Muriel said. Thank you for those of you that came out Saturday and put flags out. How many of you did? If you just raise your hand, because I know where three of us were. But that was the rest of you. Wonderful, thank you. Isn't that a great feeling when all those flags are out there? Thank you.
Mary.
Are there any additions to the agenda? Brian? Roger.
I just want to add that Karen is on Zoom, I believe. So she just tuned in.
Karen?
And
crack of her mother. Okay, do you have any membership this evening? Did you say yes?
I said, no, thank you.
No,
I don't have it.
I'm a little later.
she will next time. Oh. Can you bring us up to date as to what the other groups are doing in city in June and also about the annual airport run?
As far as the other clubs, I don't really have I don't have a report with other clubs, I apologize for that. I do have, I put a copy of this on all of the tables. It is the Calling All Lions picnic that is coming up from the district. It is June 29th from 1 to 4. Other than what the flyer has, I have little knowledge about it. It is free. You're to bring a passing dish. And the zone chairs are hosting it. And as a zone chair, I have little information. So I'm waiting to be filled in more on that. But it is in Jackson at the Cascades Pavilion. There is a copy of this on all of the tables. And there's another one, there's a few more copies over there on the table. When you go to sign up for stuff. There's the airport boat run, the water station, that is July 5th. We do need people to sign up for that. It's early morning. I haven't got the exact time, but it's around 6 a.m. till around 10 a.m. And it's super easy. People of all ability levels can help. Even if it's cheering on the runners. And they're wonderful and give us $300 for doing it and helping them out. So we do need people to sign up. There's a sign up sheet. And I believe that's all I have to report. Thank you.
And on the back of the program, it talks about the run. I put 7, you need to change that back to 6 a.m.
Yes, we have to be there. The last couple of years, it's been 6.
And whoever gets there first has to open the gate.
Yes, gate 16. What's the gate number? 16.
Thank you.
Welcome. It is.
Brian, do you have any environmental information for us?
The environmental, basically is, we're working on the zoo garden this year. And we have that all planned, and right now we're trying to keep it watered and keep the kids from running through the flowers and picking the flowers. But so that's, hopefully everybody will get a chance to go to Pine Park Zoo this year. Stop by the Jurassic Park area, which is the dinosaur area, and that's where our garden is at. We've got 3 different areas that we're taking care of this year, so it's looking pretty good so far. So that's what's going on with the environmental. Just let me give a quick plug for June 18th and the upcoming events, and that is when we're gonna be sorting glasses, all the collected glasses for the area out of Bedford. We're meeting at 1 o'clock, we'll probably be done by 3. We got a pretty experienced crew out there that have helped, and we can get those in and out from the bags into the boxes pretty quick, so that's kind of what's going on there. And if you have any questions about the zoo, see Dorothy.
We're looking forward to the school kids not being there. They're the ones who are trumping everything.
Okay, ad hoc committee. So we had a great group of people step up. As you know, we have some monies that appeared this time to be surplus. So the committee met last week, and we took everyone's suggestions and we've narrowed that down to 2. We approached the board last Wednesday at the board meeting, and we have been given board approval to investigate these 2 options in better detail. So we hope to bring you more information soon. But for right now, we're just in the beginning stages, so bear with us a little bit and we'll have more to you shortly.
Teresa, do you have another meeting scheduled yet?
No.
Lisa does. Okay. Cereal Fest, longest breakfast table, coming up June 14th. We need help. A lot of our regulars are on vacation or traveling somewhere. So we need any and all available Lions to help out. So I have a sign up sheet here. We do have some people signed up to help with our setup and takedown. But we need people to sit at the booth and just talk to people about Lions. If we have somebody that would like to wear the Lions costume. That is a great addition to this. All right, we got Brian, good deal. He gets a gold star.
There's a donut run that day, is there?
But anyway, we have a sign up sheet over here along with the water fun run out at the port, so please sign up. When we break, get your name down so we can count on you to help out.
Thank you.
Roger. We have two costumes, so
Right,
somebody else that they might be interested.
okay, we have 2 costumes.
So if we have somebody else that feels like they want to be at least for the day, we need to know that. And Brian, thank you. If those of you that remember, and either at the fair or at Cereal Fest, that lion is a very important part of Kids Side. The kids love him, and while the kids love him, we convince the parents that they need to bring the children in for their ice cream. We need him badly. Even though he probably loses 10 pounds if nothing else. Thank you. I don't see any food yet. Usually at this time, I give you 10 minutes to talk and start your dinners.
Drink water, get set.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it up to the speaker. Would you like to enjoy the company at your table until you get your dinner? Or are you ready to go out of the chute?
I'm ready to go out of the chute.
Then come on out.
Thank you, Madam President Barrett. Just a moment to arrange my things here. I'm gonna do things a little bit different. My printer ran out of ink this afternoon when I was on my way here. So I've got a bunch of random papers and stuff. I have to say, I am already falling in love with the Cereal City Lions. Man, almost 70 years of Lionism right here. Beautiful spot along a river. Just an arm's length of projects that you're already doing or have done. And just the last month, as I was looking over your club's reports, I can just see item after item after item is there. And wow, are we in for a challenge tonight too? Because I talk with my hands and this microphone wants to be jumping around in my hand too. So have fun watching that, okay? But wow, Brent is super impressed with what you already have done, what you have done for this community. Battle Creek, and then to have a meeting spot right along the Battle Creek. I know that I'll hear some more stories about that, about the name and how that creek got its name. But thank you for the warm welcome here and for welcoming in and putting me on duty at the back door where I got to hear some interesting secret passwords for your club. You know, fellow Lions, it's wonderful to see everybody today. For more than a century, we've been a steadfast presence in our communities, giving support and serving This club, like so many others, has a rich history of making a tangible difference right here where we live and work. We've tackled needs, celebrated successes. We've built incredible bonds through our shared commitment to service. Now, you've already passed out some, what we're calling a recruiter's passport, okay? I want to talk to you a little bit about that, a little bit about something that that can help us amplify the impact that you've already had over almost the last 70 years. The recruiter's passport is designed, now a little bit of a backstory here. While at the USA Canada Forum, okay, I'm going to take that back. While at Lions Leadership Institute at Higgins Lake a couple of years ago, we did what they call Faculty Development Institute. There were a number of us Lions there. I was one. We also had some Lions from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, even Wisconsin. One of those Lions was from Ohio, from Millersport, Ohio, where they have the world's largest sweet corn festival. Okay? And I had to see it with my own eyes. So we drove 350 miles past at least 350 sweet corn booths and did go visit this lion in Millersport, Ohio, and was able to witness how they go through 1 million ears of corn in just a short weekend with lions throughout the entire event. So this is imagine a carnival midway, all Lions clubs. Lions Club selling elephant ears on this side, selling pork sandwiches over here. They even had a pork chop sandwich. Lions Club, that's what they're known for, is that pork chop sandwich. But they also had in her pocket, and you'll notice that I carry one with me as well, a little recruiter's passport. Of course, theirs was highlighted in red, being Ohio. As I flipped through it, I noticed how it did remind me to think back on why I became a Lion, what what brought me to this organization, and then some few things that I wasn't ready for. It reminded me of, and I'll tell you those stories here in just a bit. Our communities need us now more than ever. The challenges are growing, and to ensure we're always ready to serve, we need to grow too. This isn't just about numbers. It's about capacity. More lions mean more hands, means more ideas, and more heart to address our changing needs. And inside this passport, it talks to you about you. Who was your sponsor? Go ahead and open that book up and just take a look and see right on the first couple of pages. It asks a little bit about how'd you become a Lion? And for Brent, I just happen to be standing on my own home street. So Ashley is a small town. We've got about 500 people, total population. Our Lions Club, we've got about 25 members. So I feel like we're doing pretty good there. But when we have parades and when we have things in town, our Lions Club has just got one sign in the back of the truck, that announces our, I want to say we're on our 63rd chicken barbecue now. And so that goes along in the parade. But as I'm standing there, I asked a question I was standing next to the baker. I'm like, wonder what's going to happen when them guys are too old to serve chicken anymore. And that was my entrance into the Lions. She happened to be a Lion as well. And the next thing I know, that was 2002. I've been a Lion for over 23 years now, and until I got this passport in my hands, I had not thought about my friend Brenda Harkness. She left Ashley and is now living somewhere in Florida. I don't even know if she's a lion anymore. But she touched a light that day. She touched mine. And I don't know if she remembers who sponsored her. I don't know if she remembers why she became a lion. But I do. I remember and I thank her because, you know, as a career as a corrections officer, we deal with a lot of negativity. And with Lions, I was able to have some positive, beneficial community influence outside of my workplace that truly kept me balanced. And I'd like to talk about that because that's the difference that Lion made in my life. Okay? Because when we talk about Lions and Brian, at your first meeting, you know, I just want you to know it's different for every single person, and I didn't realize that when I joined Lions. I was sitting in a room trying to just be the same as everybody else that was sitting at the table. A lot of the men and women who were in the Lions Club at the time were my mentors. They were my 4-H leaders, my community business people, and so I wanted to be like them. Well, as it turns out, my skill set's different than theirs. And while they all still truly, really enjoy making chicken barbecues, and that, I'm telling you, they've got some great chicken. That is what they are, that they feel that that's what they're meant to do, that chicken barbecue in our community. And so my club, they do fantastic things with the money that they raise from that chicken barbecue, but I needed to get my hands busy with a project. And my Lions Club only had that one time a year where we made chicken. And see, I wasn't even allowed close to the chicken until I had 10 years in. There was seniority at the chicken cooking place. You'll see on page 2, it talks a little bit about some of the Lions that you met when you first printed it. In the next page, it talks about making a difference. And that's where my story took a turn as I kept going to meetings. And now I want you to know it took almost 10 years before I recognized that there were actually other Lions clubs. You know, that my club is not one to go outside of the boundaries of their community. I still have a challenge to this day to get donations to district projects. But man, I have zero trouble with it. There's a need in our community, the Lions are the first ones there. But myself, I needed more. And so I learned about this project that they called, it was called Project KidSite, and I know you all have a big portion of that, and I was able to get a lion from our district to come in and train our lions on something new. And then so this is like 10 years into my Lions life. I finally get a project in my own hometown during our homecoming parade when we have our Lions Club banner going down the street advertising our chicken barbecue. We also advertised free eye screening for kids. And as the kids were walking through looking for things, we would just usher them right in. We had a little booth set up. Now this was the old where we had to have a computer and a printer and everything was a little bit wonky. Any of you remember that? Okay, yeah, everything's self-contained now. Just basically one point and shoot camera, almost as simple as a cell phone. Back then there was a lot of pieces and parts, and we still filled out the forms. We still had the kids come through. We kept up with that 10%-ish of the kids that we screened needed to be referred to it with IDOT. One of those kids happened to be a kid that the wife and I watched, and we had no idea she had eye issues. We did know that she was having some trouble in school. Well, she popped through our Lions screening, and sure enough, she got a referral her parents took her to an eye doctor. Now, I have to tell you, she had been through more than one of the EHH screenings that the school had. And just happened to across us during the Lions parade or during the homecoming parade. Her eyesight was so bad. Her eye doctor said that there was no way that she was seeing the actual board, the teacher's bulletin board in the school. She got her eyeglasses corrected shortly after that screening, and everything changed. Her report cards went back to being top notch. Her behavior in school was 100% better, and her parents were so thankful that we, instead of just slinging chicken for a day, that we actually had a booth during the homecoming parade. Now, since that time, I have continued to work with my Lions, and I'm sure you've got a member or two in your own club that's always twisting an arm saying, hey, let's go try this, let's go do this. I want you to listen to those Lions, okay? And maybe that Lion has got a spot in your passport, because you all get to take, these are for you to take home, to take a moment and jot things down about your story. Imagine if every one of us this week shared one heartfelt Lions story with someone else in our daily life. Perhaps someone at the grocery store, fellow person at school, or a neighbor. We're not necessarily asking them to join on the spot. We're just fostering some curiosity and showing them that our club is a place where genuine impact happens. This is how we begin to identify those new places and those new people that can help us reach out to those new ideas. Now, I told the story about the kid site camera becoming one of my favorite passions, because that was something that I could do where I could feel like I was making an impact. You know, I did not feel like I was making an impact when I was selling popcorn at football games or slinging chicken at the chicken bar. But I definitely felt like I was making an impact when we were doing kid site streams. That's when someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, we got this thing in Lions, it's called a foam chair. I wonder if you'd be interested in doing something like that. And I sure didn't know anything about Lions, but I also have got a balloon, a helium balloon that's strong and it's hooked right to my hand. And so when somebody asks me a question, my hand just kind of automatically goes up. I'm one of those guys that has a lot of yeses inside. And so I entered the realm of getting to find new Lions clubs, and I had some in my own county, and then some of the Lions clubs that I served as zone chair were actually outside my county, and I got to visit all of them, and they were all so completely different, and they all also loved to do kid site screenings. So it was kind of a perfect fit for me to get in the role of coming in and addressing Lions and the places that they meet, and then helping to encourage them to find new ways to serve in their community. Yeah. Go back to the story of Millersport, Ohio. That was what really connected me. Now you may see this Lion on Facebook. Tamara Stevens is her name. If you see sweet corn and lions, I can just promise you that a lion Tamara is there. But the idea in the passport that she had was a good enough idea. I asked her at the time, I said, hey, is it okay if I copy this in Michigan? She said, sure enough, and she actually sent me the file that they worked hard on for a whole year. I had my team, and you heard mentioned that I'm in the membership team for, the multiple district, so that's for the entire state of Michigan. They also created a new subdivision of that called the extension team. So my primary focus this year is where can Lions start new clubs? Okay, that is not going to be the question that most Lions clubs are asking in their dinner meetings. But I would want you to at least consider it. Okay, but while making a difference in membership, during that membership year, we had a positive increase in the state of Michigan for the first time in 40 years. Okay, that was what just having some energy and enthusiasm in a leadership role at the multiple district level meant. So we did that for bringing in new members. This year, we're going to try to do the same by starting some new Lions clubs. Okay, so GET is what Brent currently does, and I think that having this passport available to me can remind me why I do what I do. Because it's not easy to come and talk to folks about increasing their membership. It's not easy to come and talk to Lions leaders about, hey, there's areas in your communities that need to have a Lions club to serve those communities. Until I remember that there are children out there in our communities who have not been screened yet using our kids site cameras and software. And we can make such a big impact to our youth. I'll tell you my own story. So my grandfather was actually a Lion. I had forgotten about that. He was on my mom's side, kind of a step grandpa. Loved the man. He had the Lions popcorn wagon in his backyard. I almost caught it on fire when I was a kid. I didn't know that, but I still serve popcorn out of that today. He took a picture of my eyes when I was a kid. Back then, the kids site camera was an old Polaroid. Anybody remember that one? I know I gotta have some Lions in here that remember that. Okay, so the Polaroid, you would have to take a picture if you could get the kid to sit still long enough. And I was that kid that had ants in my pants 100% of the time. I do. They took 2 or 3 pictures, and then once they finally had a good picture, it was sent in where it was reviewed by the doctors wherever it was sent, and then they sent the results back. Well, wouldn't you know, by the time that the results came back, sure enough, Brent had a correctable eye disease. But by the time that those results made it back to my grandpa Lion, it was too late to correct that. And so I lost sight in one eye. And you know, to this day, and truly, I can say this, that part of my story never even made sense to me until I took a minute and sat down and really thought about my story with Lions. And why is it that I have such a passion to make sure that our children are taken care of and that all of their sight, that they don't have any sight? Well, it's because I had a correctable eye disease. And because too much time had passed, I had to live with that. And so amblyopia, it's kind of a lot of people call it just lazy eye. But one of my eyes really did a lot of crazy stuff. And so throughout my whole time of growing up, I had one eye that just kind of farted around doing whatever it wanted. And you can imagine what the other kids in my class thought about that. Yeah. Yeah. So bullying happens in schools. That happened to me. And the effects of that continue to carry with me to this day. You know, in order to kind of deal with the bullying and deal with, you know, alcohol became one of my favorite pastimes. So I find out just a couple of years ago that my liver no longer cares for that substance. I had to walk away. All of those things I have in my little book as reasons why I continue to come out to just tell my story to you folks in hopes that you'll take a moment to reflect. Think about your own story. Think about the reason why you continue to come to your Lions Club meeting, why you continue to selflessly serve our public. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. But I believe that once you take a good look, the impact that your own story can have, well, on your community, even on you as a Lion, then really make a difference, make our world smaller, and make our communities friendlier places. Serial City Lions, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions. Want you to know I completely threw the script out the window. I'll share that one with you by email if you want it. But if there's anyone with any questions, I'd be happy to answer those now. Oh, okay, I've got one right here at the center table. Go ahead, you go first, and then I see Mr. Bossy with one afterwards.
Any other states or districts or groups that are using this kind of a technique for reaching new members that you know about?
So the recruiter's passport, which is going to be renamed the Michigan passport, has been out for less than a year. I believe you are the first club to actually have a multiple district representative of anything come in and talk about it. But this is going to be available to be printed. We're gonna have it posted on the Lions of Michigan website so that any club that wants to have them can download them and have them printed right at their own local printer. Hope that answers your question. Right. Hi, Roger.
Excuse me, what's the outlook for new clubs in Michigan?
So those, you may have had some members who took part, and we had a big constitutional area. So as the Lions across the entire United States got together on some very long and very detailed Zoom meetings. I want to say they were 3 hours apiece, and you had to have pencil to the paper the whole time. We did a lot of learning early this year. So January and February this year, we did a lot of learnings. I'm gonna go about 30 Lions from across Michigan that took part in this. And those Lions are already taking what they've learned, and they're starting to get ideas for new clubs. Okay? We were challenged to start 13 new clubs in this Lions year. Now, we still have just about a month to go, but we've started 0. But that is not, that number does not represent a fail, because you have to know that there is almost 20 ideas formed that we expect to turn into new clubs over the course of the next Lions year. So the Mission 1.5, you may hear about that from other district representatives. Mission 1.5 goals for us is 1 new club per district. That means I would only have to come up with 10 for us here in the Lower Peninsula over the course of the next year. And I believe that we are on course to do that. Many of your vice district governors, your district governor elects, and your GMDs and GEDs for your district will be going to a summit with me out in Vegas at the end of June, where we're going to be learning even more and putting pencil to paper to make solid concrete plans to just how to do that. One more here.
The past few years I've been losing my hearing. And you start to realize, like you did, just the repercussions that come with that part of your medications. And I'm wondering, do the Lions do anything with hearing for young people? Hearing loss or what?
So the question here was, how important our hearing is, it's almost as important as our eyes. Our eyes bring in just a little bit more information than our ears do, but it's very important. Do we have Lions equipment to test children's hearing? I don't think we do currently. No, I know that we have a program that, where we cover costs for those that sometimes, may need some hearing aids. But I'm not positive that we have actual, youth hearing program. That might be the next great idea coming out of the Cereal City Lions. Thank you for the question. Ian Scott.
When we were at the USA Canada, we were talking to, what state was that? The different state has, does hearing. Because, they do it right along with the kids site, because some of the vendors actually have hearing, both get a little better.
They have hearing and vision equipment that's kind of wrapped into one, yeah.
Oh, wow. So
It is available.
So there are some programs available, and that would definitely be something that person gets their passion fire lit and checks it all out, and maybe that would be a new project for you here in town.
It isn't the kind that, you raise your hand. It actually checks the mechanics of the hearing, of the ear. So they could do infants and wasn't it?
Yeah, it's very.
And when you brought that question up, it reminded me, we all wear all these AirPods and stuff like that, and I want to say that the set that I wear actually has a little test. If I push the test, I can feel it doing little puffs of air and stuff in my ear. I think it's actually doing a hearing test, and it's setting itself to adjust to my body type. But it might be as simple as something like that. Okay, yes.
Of the groups that are possibly forming, how many are forming with the idea of the industry interest groups? Like, this is the Lions Club for knitters or whatever.
So we call those specialty Lions clubs. Yeah, and we actually are starting to find that we've got a big quilters Lions Club. So that's their passion is doing quilts. I am also on staff at Lions Bear Lake Camp over in Lapeer. So I help out with their leadership there, and I've done it all from having to do the swimming test with the kids to being right in the cabin, as I call myself cabin grandpa. But over there at Lions Bear Lake Camp, it's a state project. I forget where I was going with this, just like that.
Specialty clubs.
Specialty clubs. Sorry. And all those quilters, they've got 2 weekends that they get together, and they have the whole lodge booked at the Lions Bear Lake Camp. They all bring their quilting supplies, their equipment, and they're set up there, and they use their internet, and they use the electricity, and they have just a fantastic weekend. And then I believe the money from the sales of their quilts is what they use as their project money to benefit their communities. And their communities are all throughout Michigan. It's not based on just one community. So yeah, we are getting those now. All right. This is Lance Scott.
Are branch clubs considered, new clubs, or are they? You said you want to get 10 new clubs.
Yes.
Would branch clubs be considered, or?
Branch clubs are definitely considered. We consider the branch clubs as our starter club now. Okay, so when we have 5 people who are, let's just use the quilting as an idea. We've got 5 quilters who are interested in joining, getting their own Lions Club together. we would have those 5 Lions join your club. They would be the Quilters branch, Serial City Quilters branch, until they got themselves enough members to get to 20, which time they can create their own whole club. So we consider those branches our starters, so that's starts the seed to it in the farm. Great question.
From Alaska. It's Karen Wallace. Wanted everybody to know that they have several specialty clubs based around racing snowmobiles, motocross, etc.
Yeah, and those are great ideas. It's whatever a person's passion is. Right now, libraries are becoming a big focus across the United States for US Lions, because we found that we're really not super connected, even though reading is one of our action programs. So if there's a chat GPT gem that you can click on to actually start engaging with your local libraries and what they need. Basically everything that you need to address a library is right there in the chat GPT function. Just push a button that writes the letter to get you started talking with your local library. Okay, feel like I'm over talk. Thank you, Lions, once again for the opportunity to come here and speak. I truly appreciate it. It's been an honor to do this.
On behalf of the club, I present your favorite. And, very good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for taking your time. Thank you. I'm gonna open it right here, okay? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was bright and shiny. With. Somebody asked me what my favorite color was, and I said green. Now I know why. Thank you so much, Serial City Lions. Thank you. Thank you.
We will take about a 10-minute, finish up your food, talk with the people around you, and let our speaker have a chance to eat, and then we'll go on. I hate to interrupt a good conversation, because we're all enjoying yourself, but we have a very special thing to do. And if Roger Bossy would come up. And Elizabeth, it would be nice if you came up too.
And Teresa. Well, this doesn't happen very often that a person gets welcomed twice. But I'll take responsibility for that. But in our last meeting, you all were introduced to Elizabeth Raleigh, who is transferred into our club. And so we don't have to make you go through all those gyrations of answering questions, because you're already a Lion. So we're gonna give you your stuff when you need to be a serial citizen. And the first thing will be your certificate. So you're a Lion twice now. You probably got one from your other club, the host club. And we gave you a pen. Did it make you work? No, that's what it is. Uh-oh. Yeah, I do have some, we have a bunch more, actually. Thanks to Derek. But the special thing is your apron. So you heard the story about the apron last week. So your responsibility is to get everybody to sign the apron that you can. And you'll have a certain period of time to do that, as determined by our tail twister. And if you miss somebody, then you'll have to pay $1. And if somebody fails to sign one of our members doesn't sign yours, then they have to pay it. So here it is. And we also give you, a pen, and also a Sharpie to get your paper inside. Now, so, now the thing about it is you have to wait till the meeting's over. You can't do it during a meeting, but before or after a meeting. So if you come a little early, you can have people sign it. So those are your marching orders, Elizabeth. We are so glad that you're in our club. Now, technically, Transport Member doesn't have a sponsor, but Risa is, I'm gonna assume you're gonna be her mentor for our club, but we're gonna call you an honorary sponsor. So here is we can add another pen to your.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much for thanking us for coming to come to be with us.
Make sure everybody signs your papers before they get off the break. Okay, program committee, are you ready to go to work? Ready. They had dinner, they had time to talk. Now we need to give out money.
We'll do the attendance drawing first. Here, take the draw.
This table's about to do, don't you?
Diane Swear. Not here last week. That rolls over.
Let's give it a big.
And for the blue tickets, the 50-50 drawings, we have a 7, an 8, and an 8.
I had 6, 8.
But I'm on time.
Just one. It's not mine.
It is. 2616 for a $7.
Oh,
Next one is $8.
2, 6.
2665.
Spread it around.
And the last one will be $8 as well. Just not gonna draw your ticket now. 2655.
Hey, that's me.
Only one per house.
It's not rigged.
There you
Right?
go.
Thank you.
No, money for gas.
It's not. Hard draw.
The card draws up to 236. Ace of hearts.
There we go. Oh, I did.
Happy Riders tonight. Riders bring some myself.
Okay, the lucky person to try is 8681 for the white ticket. 8681. With the white ticket around, thank you. Let's check on this.
Minus 8700.
They already called, nope, not mine. What do you have? It's 8681.
Oh, it's Bob. One, I got nine.
Eight, 6, 8, 1.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Okay. Eight, 6 up here. Start visiting the ace of spades. The ace of spades. Ace of spades.
Drum roll.
Oh, but it's the hearts.
Big winner in St. John's last night.
Close. Clear it up. Let's wait. Sure.
Find the wrong one.
And that's all the teams.
Just got the drums.
What are you
Maureen, whenever you're ready.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's not.
She already has it.
How that music becomes so important.
Okay.
You gotta see what I'm.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for your help.
I'm sorry, just need.
I have a bunch of them tonight. The first one's for Brent Beracy for coming down here and talking to us about membership. One of my passions, we gotta come up with some new ways for people to see what a great job we do and how much fun we have doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing out that we're in a really great location and we do fun things. Thank you, Brent. Also, Brian, thank you for coming and being with us. I usually greet Brian at the pizza station at Sam's Club on Sunday afternoon. So that was like seeing an old friend today, so that was great. To let you know, Elizabeth is already saying yes. She's on 2 committees with me, so it's really a fun time. She's gonna be one of those Zoom people out there, so. Don't be afraid to say yes. She's still smiling. She's doing a great job. My person I really want to recognize a lot tonight is Derek Dean. Because the rest of you do not know how much this guy gives to this club all the time. From getting us great deals on accoutrements to helping us find t-shirts for things. He is a godsend. Derek, thank you. Thank you. And you laughed off, this has been great club.
Yeah, I've got, a few here, one for our speaker, our good buddy Brent, always nice to see him, we go back a long way. I would just say that when Roger was district governor, his year, all of us first ladies, we got mentored by his wife Cindy. And wonderful lady, we all miss her. Another thing, Roger and I left Thursday, we were at Kellogg Arena for the Senior Expo. And we happened to stop at a table that was manned by somebody from Lakeview Assisted Living. And I said, well, we know somebody that lives there, I mean, lives. And she said, who? And I said, Carlisle Sims. Her face lit up. She says, he is so much fun. He is so active and he gives talks to our groups. And it was just nice to hear somebody that we don't see all the time. And just to hear about.
I just got a couple of the speakers and I was really good.
Thanks Brent for coming over and talking to us tonight. Nice to see you. Thanks Brian for coming to the meetings. Hopefully we'll see you at some other things or some other projects. You're always invited for that. And thanks to Elizabeth for helping us out with our music next year. Thank you. Next week, next month, next year, but
Thank you.
yeah.
I have a couple for our speaker. Thank you for coming tonight. And a happy walk. I had the weekend, or we had the weekend up north at the cottage with the grandkids, and that's always fun. Today I spent the afternoon in the chair because I was exhausted. Everybody's in here.
Happy birthday for a generous friend who's moved out of town, but sent me a check for $200 for our club. John Doty.
So I've got a couple of bucks, one for our speaker, Brent, thank you for coming down, it's always great to see you and see what you're up to. And good luck with the North Country Trail. And for Brian for coming tonight, I know we've been trying to get you over here for a little while, so I'm glad you finally made it. And hope you like what you see and maybe you'll think about joining us. One for Elizabeth, again, for coming over. And I guess my last one is, Dorothy and I helped our neighbors do some storm cleanup in their yard over the weekend, and I'm just thankful that people weren't hurt during that tornado that came through, because it was, and literally it was like 3 houses away from me. And we lost a little tree, but they have great big trees in their yard. And they're just kind of like deer in the headlights kind of thing. And so anyway, it's good to help people that need help. And it's a great thing.
Thank you.
We have one of those, all our speakers, but, in our club, everybody pats themselves on the back because we do wonderful things. And that's one thing that's really exciting about our club, that of all the things we engage in the community. And, I want to thank Lions to, introducing me to putting flags out on the grave, and especially to Roger and, his lovely Dorothy wife. Someplace I can't turn. For helping me. That was a tough day, and we had smiles and laughs and everything, so it was great. I only used one cleaner. I probably would have used about 5.
Right, I have 3. I have one for Brent, thank you, excellent program tonight, we really appreciate your time and all the words of wisdom you've had to offer us tonight and encouragement. The next one is for kids site. It's for everyone who is going to be working the kids site screening for the longest breakfast table, and it comes with a reminder. Don't forget to renew your background check, and if you're due for a refresher, I'll be hosting a refresher before that event. And the last dollar is for everyone that put the flags out in the cemetery. What an amazing experience. Thank you. Maureen.
I have a few. First of all, for the speaker, membership is so important, and I listened to a few other speakers, and I was never impressed as much as I was tonight for you. For our wonderful club. And then I have 3 little stories. I'll make it fast. There was a gentleman that came by at Walmart parking lot, and I had a 12-pack of popped at the bottom of my cart. And I was sitting in the car getting the stuff in, there was no way I could get there. And he asked if he could help me, and I thought that was really nice. I went to the National Cemetery, and later I happened to meet Paul and Sue Rose at the VFW place in Augusta. And I thought that was very nice. They gave us free food. We had hot dogs and stuff. And then today I spent the afternoon at Bedford Area Lions Clubhouse. And they were cleaning out the back room. The back room has not been cleaned out in over 30 years.
Closet like that.
I'm not kidding. And also I heard that with the chicken barbecue, they made quite a few dollars. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was ambitious.
That's true. And the second, I am just one notch off of the tornado route. The first storm, I lost 2 trees across the driveway. Second storm, I lost 9. 3 of them are still on my propane tank. But the great part of it is what was that storm less than 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
My insurance company sent me all my money yesterday and today. So I can now pay the contract. Oh, I get.
Yes.
Our speaker mentioned the Canada USA Forum. The price increase is sneaking up on us. It's 1 June. If you don't have your registration in, please get it. That is the best conference to go to for training. The National is wonderful. You get to meet lots of people. But the training happens at the Canada USA Forum. So please try to be there. One thing that was added to your activities on the back is that Brian found out that we can do glasses sorting at Bedford 1 o'clock on June 18th. So put that on your calendar. If you haven't done that, you go through lots of classes in about an hour and a half, no more than 2 hours. And you have thousands of classes that you're putting out so they can be recycled. Thank you all for coming tonight. Any other good words for the?
Harry, the Canada form that you're talking about, is that the one that's in September?
Yes, in Atlantic City. And you can go online and find registration for it. And really, if you have not been before, that is the one to go to. Lots and lots of workshops, lots of great people. And the places that they have chosen are also great places to visit. So put that on your calendar. Have a good 2 weeks or a little more. We'll see you right here. Good night, everybody. Drive carefully. And using Wellness. We're adjourned.
It's like an amazing thing, you steal their mascot. Somebody snuck into the Kiwanis Club and took their gavel. Came out nice, you know. So it was slightly different than the current one, and this is kind of you could feel the raised parts of it. It was, price on the, they raised the line, raised up, it was like flat, pretty cool. Yeah, one of these probably got some. I think they just take on to somebody.